Okay, you are ready, or did I wait a second?
I'm just waiting.
Okay.
Okay, Skylar Kovich, please. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Tracy, and thanks to Brian and Ashley for being our guest to show us the OrCam technology. So I'm Dr. Skylar Kovich. I'm an Access Technology instructor at the Santa Barbara Braille Institute Center. A lot of my work, probably 90% of my work, is training people on VoiceOver for the iPhone and JAWS for the computer and the Braille note. But I am also an OrCam user. It's a really exciting product that has helped me, open up the world of printed materials, printed books, product labels, all that sort of thing. And then there's the personal identification, recognizing people who come into the room. So we'll have a great time here talking about all that. So I'll introduce our presenters now. So Dr. Brian Lewinsky is a primary care optometrist with an emphasis in low vision and assistive technology. He's been in private practice, nonprofit, and university as adjunct faculty and has provided eye care, specializing in low vision, eye care for the homeless, mobile care, and schools for disadvantaged students. He currently works for OrCam Technologies, the company that makes the OrCam, as clinical and professional relations, and has presented the technology in the media, including Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Fox News, Inside Edition, and Good Morning America. He's also spoken extensively at conferences nationally, internationally, and at the United Nations on mobile eye care, low vision, and assistive technology. Oh, thank you for coming. So that's Dr. Brian Lewinsky. Ashley Mazzell is a social media influencer with hundreds of thousands of followers on the platforms of empowering people. Ashley is a mom to 3 boys, Bentley, Oliver, and Joey. Before being diagnosed with sarcoidosis in February 2019, which caused her vision loss, Ashley was an avid and well-known photographer in Kansas City and still is through her social media pages. Through her pages are Blind Mom of Boys is her social media page. Photography and making feel beautiful has always been her passion and calling. And since her vision loss, she has continued with that passion with a renewed emphasis on empowering others in everyday life by sharing story, challenges, and triumphs on social media to her highly engaged audience. Sorry, I lost here. Ashley's mantra is, y'all can do hard things. So Ashley is an OrCam user. We were just talking about how her photography background definitely plays into that. Really, dealing with the camera angles and that sort of thing. But this is something that all of you can do. And so Brian and Ashley are going to be here talking about that. So Brian and Ashley, I think we're ready for you to get started.
Sure. Thank you so much. Are you hearing me okay, Skylar?
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Ashley, are you hearing me okay?
I think Ashley's muted.
Yeah, and also just make sure your camera's on as well.
Yes, I can hear you.
And Ashley, I'm going to ask that you turn your camera again because it went the other way again.
So turn it.
Yeah, there.
Hold on, this way?
Nope, the other way. There you go. Nope, we got you now.
This way?
You're good.
Okay.
Right. So thank you. Thanks, Skylar. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. And thank you to the Braille Institute for having us here in this event and for hosting, the technology this month, as we know how important it is to everyone. And thank you, Ashley, for agreeing to come on too. And, late in the day, I know your schedule is busy with your boys, and I know it takes up much of your day. And I know you're pleased, though, to be here as well. And looking forward to doing more with the Braille Institute as well as part of OrCam. I wanted to also not just get right into OrCam though, but kind of have Ashley submit a little bit more information about herself and maybe about how she uses OrCam, how she found out about OrCam, and also even just a little bit about her because she's doing some incredible things. I've known Ashley for about a year now, but it was only recent that we actually met. And I could tell you her positivity is contagious, which is great. And it's going to be there. And it's definitely going to be there for all of us. Hang on. Hang on. Something's with my computer. I'm using a new computer today. So I shouldn't have probably used it today of all days. But Ashley, I'm happy to be doing this with you today.
Me too. Thank you guys so much for having me.
So everyone has heard from my bio that, I'm an optometrist and I work seeing low vision patients. But one of the things that, I mostly see, I deal a lot with aging eye disease. So I see a lot of people with macular degeneration and some common other eye diseases that we hear about. But Ashley, as we heard in her bio, you had sarcoidosis. And while we do see some common things in the eye, not many people know about sarcoidosis. So I figured it's a good thing maybe for us to bring up. It's a rare autoimmune disease. I think there's about 200,000 cases a year in the US. But what's even rarer that happened, usually it causes a uveitis or an inflammation of the iris and not what happened to Ashley. So Ashley, maybe you can inform us more a little bit about sarcoidosis and what occurred with you.
Yes. Hi, guys. So I had the autoimmune disease called sarcoidosis. It took over my eyes. Normally, it can take over any major organs like your brain, your lungs, and stuff like that. Mine just went in full force for my eyes. It was basically scar tissue grew over them within 3 to 4 weeks. I was a photographer before I got sick and I didn't know something was wrong with my eyes. Oops, sorry. So I went to an eye doctor and he gave me glasses and he was just like, there you go, your eyes are going to be good. And I was like, okay. So I was hurting right here in the middle of my nose, like going down between my eyes. And I called him and he was just like, oh no, it's from the glasses. Well, I didn't realize that I was having sarcoidosis was taking over my body then, and I didn't process that. And that was February of 2019. So we're coming up on 3 years next month. After I got diagnosed, I sank into a huge depression. I didn't think I could be a mom anymore. I didn't think that I could really do anything. But then I was just listening to TV and I heard about OrCam on Dr. Phil. So I got some more information on it. And on my community where I'm from in Kansas, they actually raised money for me to get the OrCam. So that's where it all started.
No, that's great. And actually, just even before OrCam, you got started getting yourself into social media. And it's amazing the crowd and people that you have there and accessibility and technology. So how did you get involved in social media and how did you make it grow to what it is? I mean, I understand it's just like I said, your positivity is so infectious. That's the reason, but how did you get involved in that?
So I decided after I lost my vision, I was like, oh my goodness, like I never heard about this before. And I wanted other people to know about it just because I didn't want them to be scared in the same position I was in when I found out like, hey, your vision isn't coming back. So I just decided to start blogging on social media, on TikTok. And I started just showing people like, hey, this is how I change a diaper as a blind mom. This is how I can fold clothes and lay out my kids' clothes for school. And then everyone was like so intrigued. They were like following. And it's just continued to grow.
No, it definitely has. And I even see like, sometimes there's a lot of negativity even in, social media. So I've seen some like haters out there, but I love how you use it as teachable moments to really teach someone about what's going on. Cause like there was one recently about someone saying, but you don't look blind. And you really made them show them like, well, what does blind look like? And it was a great teachable moment that you took that as, rather than taking that as a negativity.
Yes, absolutely. There's so many stereotypes out there for the blind and visually impaired. And that is one thing that I go to social media to share my story, because we're not all the same, and we can still do everything just like people when they have sight. We just look we just can't see like you guys.
No, I mean, but that's why I always like to never tell somebody they can't do something, because they'll prove you wrong, because they
Yes.
always will. They'll meet that challenge. Now, one of the things that you do is from social media, you've also kind of turned it into a business as well. And even that business has grown, and also taking care of a family and a household. And you use kind of OrCam to, work with your day-to-day life, your business per se. And can you tell us more about that and how you're using OrCam?
Yes, every single day I'm using OrCam. I have 2 boys that are in school, and I have a 3-year-old that's still at home. So every time they come home from school, we're constantly going through homework, checking with teachers' notes. I use it when I'm cooking to make sure I'm using the right ingredients. Sometimes I use it just to figure out what time it is, just because I can't look at the Alexa and see what time it is. So I'm just like, hey, OrCam, what's the time? And it tells me.
No, that's cool. That's one of the newest features too.
Yes, I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's like, it's hands-free. You don't even have to use your hands. So it's a hands-free device.
So I'll let everybody know, OrCam just had an update to its system, and the software is now in 9.10. And one of the new updates is something called, like, basically you can speak to the device. So sort of like how you say, hey, I'm not going to say it in case people's devices are on, or what my friend calls the A lady, for either Google or the Alexa, the A lady. But hopefully I didn't turn on anyone's devices, but you can speak to it and really customize it to yourself. You can change the rate of speed, and I'll go into everything that it does as well. But what did you think of the process, Ashley, of like getting updates and using the device and learning how to use it? Was it easy? Was it hard? Did you have to put a lot of time in? What did you feel about that process?
For me, it took a lot of time just knowing the commands. Once I realized, like, hey, I need to know the commands to say to the OrCam, I understood the OrCam so much better. But it took a little bit to memorize that.
But as far as like downloading the updates, did that require like connecting it to your Wi-Fi and say something like that?
So yeah, so you do have to connect it to your own Wi-Fi, and I'll kind of I'll do a quick run through maybe of the device, so that way we kind of talk about it. But you don't need Wi-Fi for it to work. So
Right.
all of OrCam's devices run offline, and they all run so wherever you go. So I think, Ashley, if I see the background there at your mom's, we've had some. Yeah, so see, we've had some we've had some talks before. So she can just use OrCam at her mom's without having to hook up to Wi-Fi or go anywhere she wants and use it. So you could be in the park, you could be in a library, it could be anywhere you want. So Wi-Fi is not a necessity.
Right.
And the other thing is that privacy, nothing goes to the cloud, and you don't need any other software to make it run. The only time you need Wi-Fi is just like our recent update where we had the new voice commands, and now it could be used hands-free, is that you just need Wi-Fi for that update, and that's all you need it for. And then every time you plug in your OrCam device, and whether it's the OrCam Read or the OrCam My Eye, and I'll get into both devices in a moment, you just plug it into charge, and it's then looking for the Wi-Fi. It then connects to the Wi-Fi automatically, so you don't have to do anything, and then it automatically pushes it right through, so you don't even have to, basically don't have to press a button, nothing. That it's all done automatically. So Ashley, I know when you first got it also, what is some of the first things you did, or maybe book that you read, or did you go through the pantry because it could like read barcodes?
I remember the first time I took a video, and I was with my boys, and we read a book together for the first time, and my kids were in shock. They were like, oh my gosh, Mom can do this. And I'm like, yes, Mom can.
No, that's
we were
great.
all in shock. Yes, it was awesome. It was a moment that I will never forget, because I can still hear Bentley and Oliver just like so excited, like, because they went a little bit without me being able to read to them because I didn't know about the device. So it's been a really game changer.
It's good. So let me go over that about reading, because that's one of the big main features. And also, me as an eye doctor, that most of my patients are coming in, and most of the complaints is like access to text, to reading material. And so let me go over that in a moment. There are two devices that OrCam actually has. One is called the OrCam My Eye. I'm holding it up, and Ashley's wearing it as well on her glasses, and it fits just magnetically to her glasses. It's about the size of your finger. Some people like to say it's the size and shape of a lipstick case. It has two little magnets on the back, and just clip and just magnetically goes on any pair of eyeglasses, as long as I could put these little magnets on the side. And then the camera is facing forward. It's a 13 megapixel camera. That camera takes a picture, and what it does not work to help you see. So it's for somebody who
Oh, did we lose audio?
Yeah, I can't hear it either.
I can't hear him either.
Yeah, Dr. Brian, we are missing your audio. That darn new computer he got.
What was he?
I got lost, right? Am I
There you
back?
go.
All right, am I
Yes.
back? Perfect. So then it's taking a picture and then speaking back the information. So that's what it does. It's able to read text, and that's reading off of any surface. So I know, Ashley, you read off of packages and boxes, right?
Yes.
When you get all your deliveries and stuff, not just, books with your kids.
And mail, the
mail.
newspaper, documents, paperwork, everything.
Exactly. And then also you can read off of computer screens. So it also is able to read off of digital screens. But another thing, not only regular reading that it does off of any surface, it also has something new called smart reading. So maybe you want to mention what smart reading does, Ashley, so you can.
Yes. So you just have to say smart reading, or yes. And then you say the command, or if you have a book and you are wanting to start at a certain date or something, you can just say, hey, smart reading, start from, and then give the date, and it'll pick up right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, so basically it'll pick up any text that you want. So let's say you're reading a menu and you just want to know the chicken dishes or the desserts. You just say, find the desserts, and it'll find that for you and read it for you. It'll take it right out of the text for you, so you're not busy searching for it. It does the searching for you. And again, it's all by voice commands. And I'll show you, actually, Ashley, I know you once said this, but nobody reads newspapers anymore. But I got a newspaper here. So I want to show on a newspaper, because a lot of my senior patients, they still like the newspaper. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn OrCam on, because right now I had it off. I just didn't want to, if I started saying, hey, OrCam, I didn't want it to start going off, just like I said Alexa before, and maybe now other people's devices are going off. So it's turning on for me. It takes a couple of seconds for it to turn on. And what I have in front of me here is just a newspaper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into smart reading. I'm going to take a picture of the newspaper, and I'm going to ask it to read the headlines, and we'll see what happens. So it's turning on, and hopefully my speaker comes on too in a moment.
Version 9 is ready. Battery is 100% charged.
So OrCam also hooks up to any Bluetooth speaker or headset. So that way you can listen privately, or I could do it out loud here as I want everybody else to hear. So I'm actually going to do a voice command to have it hook up to the speaker here. Hey, OrCam, connect to Bluetooth audio device.
Touch to connect to a Bluetooth audio device, or swipe for other settings.
So it's now looking for the Bluetooth device. Be coming in.
Bluetooth audio devices, please try again.
Let me just make sure that this is on. There we go. Hey, OrCam, connect. I'm going to start it again. Should go this time. Of course, I had it right before I started this, right?
Already connected to Bluetooth audio
Good.
device Superstar Hotshot, serial number 38. Swipe for other options.
Good. So it should be connected.
Volume maximum.
Good.
Can't read text.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up a newspaper, and then I'll hold it towards the microphone if everybody can hear. So all I have to do is hold up a newspaper. I'm holding it up at about eye level in front of me, about 10 to 12 inches away. And I say, hey, OrCam, smart reading. It's looking at the text.
There may be more text below. Ready.
So it already read the text. I'm just holding this up to the microphone so everybody
Trying
else
to
can
find
hear.
something first.
Read the headlines.
Found 2 headlines. First result, talking about beat generation. Second result, being paid to sit in SNL seats.
Read the second article.
Being paid to sit in SNL seats by Julia Jacobs and David Scott. Audience members receive paychecks to attend the show before the
So then I'm just going to stop it by putting my hand out. It works by hand gestures. So if I put my hand out, it knew to stop. And then I'm going to say exit. And it should exit out of the smart reading mode.
Exiting.
Great. So basically all I did was have to speak to the device. I was able to get the headlines. I was able to read the second article all by speaking to the device. And then when I wanted it to stop, all I had to do is put my hand out. If I wanted to, let's say, just read a book, all I needed to do, right, Ashley, is just point to the page. So if I hold the book up, like, again, 10, 12 inches out in front of me, about eye level, I point. OrCam recognizes that gesture by pointing at the text, and it's reading it. And then all I need to do is put out my hand to stop again. But Ashley, you like to read in another way. What is the third way to read?
Oh, now you're making, I was just about to say, it'll tell you if your book is upside down too, Brian.
Sure, I know. But there's a way that you like to read. So there's 3 ways to read: by pointing, by automatic, or
Double tapping.
tapping on the side of the device. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you tap just once on the side of the device, it'll also trigger it to take a photo and take a picture. And in the kitchen, it recognizes. Have you found that helpful, Ashley?
You just cut out. I can't hear you.
I'm talking about how it recognizes also barcodes.
Oh, yes, that's extremely helpful. Every time we get into the refrigerator and we're trying to figure out which jelly or if it's the right coffee I want to drink or if it's creamer because they're in the same exact containers, I just grab my OrCam, hold it up, and it says it.
Right, so it recognizes barcodes, products, money as well, and color as well. And also
Faces.
and faces, yes. So facial recognition. My device has on manual, so I'm just going to trigger it to take a picture of me.
Brian.
And it just said Brian because I'm in the system. The device actually can recognize up to 100 faces. It takes about 20 seconds to put somebody in the system. Right? So did you put your boys in there, you said?
I did. And if you don't put somebody in the system and somebody comes around, it'll say like there's a man in front of you or there's a woman in front of you. I recently, when I flew to New York, I flew by myself and I had my OrCam with me and it was helping me a lot because I was kind of paranoid being in an airport and sitting there and I didn't know who was around me. So I would just turn and it'd be like, there's a man sitting, or like there's a man. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. So no one can sneak up on you anymore.
Yes.
This is Chris. I have a question.
Sure.
When I'm listening to you guys talk, it's awesome. I just love it. But it also sounds like what Seeing AI kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
Is
So
that
sure, there are some functionalities that things do similar to Seeing AI, of course, like reading. But one thing that OrCam does, it's not working off the phone or Wi-Fi, so the privacy factor of that. The other issue is it's wearable, so it's on your glasses. And the other thing, and you're not using your phone. And the other thing is that it works seamlessly, meaning that I can go right from reading into facial recognition within a second. I don't need to change any kind of mode.
I see.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy access to everything.
Correct.
Right.
And then the
Thing like
wearable option of it.
Nice.
I think the Seeing
I
AI,
want one.
yeah, it is more challenging with Seeing AI, from my understanding, to read an entire book, like, for it to focus on the right page when there's so many
Right.
pages right near it.
Right. So this,
Right.
depending on the size of a book, you can also get both pages at the same time. So it'll read the left page first, then it'll go down the right page. You'll hear a ding at the end, and then it, to turn the page, and you just take another picture. Or you can just point at the text and read page by page. Also, you can read columns. And also, just recently with the new update, it's doing charts a lot better.
Question.
Yes.
So about reading, does it recognize automatic language recognition?
So yeah, that was something I was going to mention. Thank you. Have you used that at all, Ashley? Have you used that at all? The automatic language detection?
No.
So it doesn't do language per se of translation, but it does detection, and it will detect one other language in the system, and that's in this one it's Spanish. So if I have the settings to my liking, let's say I have it set that I want it to auto detect, it'll read Spanish in the dialect of Latin Spanish, because of here in the States. It also does Castilian Spanish, but we use that mostly over in Europe.
And also when for instance, when you're in the street, I mean, outside, outdoors, I mean, distance environment, can it read the street? I mean, if you point the device to the street sign or a store name, can it read it, or do you have to be too close? How close?
Sure. So I'll mention something about that, and I don't know if you want to after, Ashley, if you've tried it outside, but I always say it's more of a, can it get things in the distance? Yes. So if you were like in a inside room, there's a sign on the door, you could read the sign, or read a PowerPoint presentation from the middle of the back of the room. That's fine also. Whatever somebody who has 20/20 vision, that's what the vision or the computer vision can see of the device. The issue with being outside or in the wild, I would say, it's more of like it might read other things. So if there's another sign next to the street sign, it might pick up both things. And then because it is a camera, if you have the sun facing at you a certain way, it might get too much glare and might not get it.
Right.
And then the other issue could be a sign on a store. It needs to be text that's legible, meaning it's not going to get wedding font or calligraphy or things like that. So if it's like Coca-Cola, like something like that, it's not going to be able to read that. But it can read definitely street signs. Have you been outside or tried anything like that, Ashley?
I used it when I was at the hospital when my sister-in-law was passing away with cancer. I walked outside just to see, like, on the rooftop, like, oh, what can it get? Like, can it get the hospital name? And it was just picking up signs that were all around already.
I had a friend who uses this here in New York City, and he's got RP, and he calls it self-discovery. So he kind of like stands on the corner, takes a few pictures here and there, and then kind of knows kind of where he is and where things are in his environment. So in that way, he has it. We have a new feature that's going to be coming out. It's in beta mode right now. It's called Orientation, and it's going to have some navigation type features in there, things that can help you out, like objects and things like that, for just to mention that something else that's new that's coming up. So like, let's say there's a cup on the table or a table or chairs, or where's the window, where's the door, it's going to be able to tell you where that is in the room. So more of like indoor type navigation, but that's not available yet. It is in a beta mode for people to try out on their devices, but not something that's fully functioning at the moment. Before we take more questions, I quickly just wanted to talk about the Read device. Ashley, you tried the Read device as well, right?
Yes, I have it right here.
Oh, great. So the My Eye is what Ashley's wearing right now, and that's more meant for someone. Anyone can use it. We have ages from 7 to 100, and any type of person who's either low vision, visually impaired, or blind can use the My Eye device. The Read device is more for, because it does have a little bit of a laser target that needs to be seen. But again, as I said earlier, I don't like to say nobody tells somebody they can't do something. So someone who is blind can use this device. It's just they don't benefit. Yeah, they just don't benefit from the laser targeting. So what this is, it's a handheld device. I just hold it in my hand like a magic marker. It has a button on there. I point, click, and it starts reading to me. And it's amazing. And it has a laser sort of highlighter in there where it highlights an area to read. So if I just want a paragraph, I could read a paragraph. If I just want a page, I can read the whole page. So it has whole page capture. Or it has another laser indicator in there that's like a cursor on a computer, where I just point it and it can start from anywhere on the page as well. And again, it works just similarly to the My Eye, reads off of any surface. And I know you were using it as well, right, Ashley?
I love the OrCam read. For me, when I check my mail, because the papers are always so much longer, if I get really long documents, it's easier for me just to simply use that and it reads the whole entire thing.
No, that's great. And you can have this, and it has the smart reading as well. And it
Yes.
also has language detection.
Yes.
And other things, just, you know, as anyone else uses screen readers and such, you can speed up. You can have it go slower, faster. And there's two choices of voices, one male and one. Just to answer that, if anyone had any questions about that. But this is really a quick and easy device. I haven't actually just turned it on. Oh, and it's connected.
Superstar Hotshot connected. Bluetooth audio device Superstar Hotshot connected.
So it connected to my Bluetooth audio device that's called Superstar. So I'm gonna hold up a book right now, and I'm just gonna point the device right at the book and just start easily reading. You're gonna hear it through a Bluetooth device that it's connected to, but with different from this device than the wearable OrCam My Eye device is that it connects to also hardwire headphones. And the reason that is because this is great for kids in school or education or college, where sometimes during test taking or other things, they don't allow Bluetooth devices. They only allow hardwire. So this is great for someone in an education atmosphere. So if I just point here and I have it on a capture, I just collect for the whole page.
Sword carries with its century C. Every blow needs to have the strain.
And try one more. Great.
CSO, a warrior of the light, is reliable. He makes a few mistakes. He sometimes thinks he is more important than he really is.
So I'm reading. I could make it go faster. I could slow it down. I could fast forward, rewind, pause, or I just click a button and it stops. And that's how easy it is to use. And it has the same vocal commands as the other device.
Excuse me, I have a
Tyler.
question about the volume.
Yes.
So,
Go ahead.
right now you are using a speaker, so it's pretty audible. So without a speaker, is that something only the user can hear it, or is that people in the surrounding also hear it?
No, you can. I'm using a speaker so you guys can hear it, but you can also use hardwire headphones right into it, or you can hook it up to a Bluetooth headphone for yourself for your personal listening, so people won't hear it around you.
And can you have the option of not using any headphones at all?
Yes, you can, and it will read out. It'll read out loud near your ear. You can lower it down so people don't hear, so it's just kind of whispering in your ear. But I would say if you're in like a really, really quiet library, you know, someone might hear something, but then you just put in headphones. But if you had it in a noisy atmosphere or somewhere else, you'd be able to hear it.
Thank you.
Skylar,
that
I know
is separate. Oh,
go ahead. That's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that device you just shared, that's separate from the OrCam?
Correct. So the OrCam is just the name of the company, and then there's two devices, OrCam Read.
Okay.
My Eye.
And how much do you know how much that one is?
The Read device?
Yes.
The Read device is $1,990.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a question from Lisa Moreno.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. I am a current, well, not so current, OrCam user, except that I had the original OrCam, the wired OrCam,
Yes.
and I love that. It worked really well, and it was really great, and it's still on 7.1 for the upgrades. It won't upgrade to 8. It won't go anywhere, and I'd really like to replace it with the new My Eye. The Department of Rehabilitation paid for mine, which was very exciting at the time. However, my case is closed with them, and I can't go back and ask them, well, gee, I'd like to upgrade. Is there any sort of trade-in or something that I can use to go upgrade to the next thing?
There is, I believe, something you can do. I'd have to have a person from our sales team reach out to you.
Okay. That would be fine.
Okay, great.
I'll put that in the notes, then you can.
Sure.
see.
Well, I could get you through Skylar also, if you know Skylar or if somebody from the Braille Institute. But if you don't, yeah, just put it in the notes, and I'd be happy to have somebody reach out to you with that, because I don't have that. I'm not involved in that end, but there is a way to do that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I'm from Braille, Los Angeles, so I'm not with this current. So thanks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Lisa, we'll get you connected with Dr. Brian.
Thank you.
Yes. I was going to say before, I know there's lots of other questions, but I know Skylar had some interesting questions because he's a user as well of the OrCam device. So,
Right.
And I just wanted to quickly say what Lisa was talking about is she has the older device that has a wire and it has like a big battery. So while it's still functional, it's the newer devices is wireless, much more, has some more features as well.
Right. Yeah, I was able to get the upgrade. I was able to get the upgrade myself, and it's definitely worth trying to get. So that was Lisa Moreno. Is your name?
Yes.
Lisa Moreno. Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. So I will. I think I can find your email address in the system. So I will get you in touch with Brian.
Thank you.
So yeah. So yeah, I do have a couple of questions. We covered a lot of the questions that I had in mind, but my main and I should note, I might not have made it clear at the beginning that I'm totally blind, almost totally myself. I have some light perception, but I have Leber's congenital amaurosis, which made me almost totally blind since birth. And with so many devices, both for me personally and teaching my students, it can be really challenging if there is a problem with the device or even just a little bit of trouble learning it perfectly. It could be anything from a paper not being at the right angle to just bad lighting. That was a problem. I didn't realize for a few weeks when I first got the OrCam that my desk actually had very poor lighting. So I guess my question, especially for Ashley, and then maybe Brian as well, with some of the other people you've been helping, is what's the best reaction when you have one of those problems? What are some good troubleshooting techniques, and I guess like practically, but also just to keep yourself motivated to keep trying even when what can be really difficult.
So for me, if I go and I click it and it says the text can't be read, and because the lighting is too dark or whatever, I just go over by a window. I don't really feel too discouraged when it says that, because I know I rely on the OrCam so much and I believe in it, and I know it'll tell me what the stuff is eventually. It might take a second to get to better lighting.
But that's a good point that you're bringing up, Skylar, also, is that the intuitiveness of it is that at least it's giving you the information that it needs more. That it needs more lighting. Now, on the device itself, there is a LED light that turns on. So if you are in a dim light lit area, the LED light will automatically go on and actually will help in that situation as well. But if it's not good enough, the device will tell you, and then you just change your environment.
Question.
Go ahead.
I know OrCam is sold in Europe, but for instance, I buy it here. I am in Europe for several months or anywhere in the world, and it goes bad. I need to have it fixed. How does it work?
So there is with the MyEye, there is a 2-year warranty. With the Read device, there is a 1-year warranty.
Yes, but
it's hard to say what's better for you to do, but buy it here, buy it in Europe. I'll tell you, the models here in the US are more meant for the US, meaning that because it doesn't require Wi-Fi to work, all the barcodes that are in there are mostly going to be North American products.
Right.
Whereas the barcodes over in Europe are going to be more the European products.
And there is no app we can add when we travel abroad.
There is an app. There is an app that you can use but the app is not going to do anything with the barcodes. The app is only going to be
Naturally.
useful for you to change settings. And there is definitely one thing to mention, which Ashley, I'm not sure you know about. We got to is that the camera light is instead that it knows the flicker rate differences between Europe and North America and the Americas. So over here we're at 50 hertz, over there it's 60 hertz, or it's the other way around. I can't remember. But you do have to change it from USA to Europe in the settings.
Interesting.
To have it work more effectively.
But my question originally, I mean, is still, you know, if I have to have it repaired, so I buy it here and I am in Europe for several months. Should I ship it back here, or can I have it fixed over there?
So the warranty would be through OrCam itself, where we work in 50 countries. So the central headquarters is in Israel, in Jerusalem. So it would probably be an answer. It's hard for me. I would think it'd be fine if you just worked through the company headquarters or do it through the distributor who you bought it from.
Yeah. By the way,
I think either way would be fine.
But beyond the warranty, I mean,
beyond the warranty, I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Maybe if you could put your email address in the chat. What is your name, by the way?
My name is Catherine, and I cannot use the chat.
Okay.
Catherine, I'll put my email address. Is that okay?
Who is it? Brian?
This is
Brian.
Dr. Brian. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, oh yes, sure. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I'll say my email now so everybody has it, but I'll write it in there as well.
Yeah.
It's Brian, BRYAN .Lewinsky, WOLYNSKI at OrCam, ORCAM.com. And I'm putting it in as well.
Tracy, can we have it in the resource email?
Yes, Catherine, we'll make sure we get that to you.
Okay. So yeah, I think we have to move on from the topic of Europe, but I will just say that I've had to call the OrCam company myself, and they're definitely very knowledgeable representatives, and I've got to talk to some of the people who actually live in Israel, and they all do a lot of work with the American and European clients. So I mean, there are some divisions, but it is very much like collaborative.
Yeah, maybe in the future, maybe the suggestion to the headquarters is to actually make it universal, automatically switch to 550 to 60 hertz.
Yeah.
And voltage if it takes voltage.
Yeah, it's a good. I think we have to move on from that topic, but it's a really interesting one.
That's interesting. That is a good suggestion. Thank you.
Keep looking into.
We do have a question in the chat. Can the OrCam device read a document if its orientation is off? So if it's upside down, sideways, will it recognize it and tell you to reorient it as necessary?
Ashley, I'll let you have that one.
So if it's upside down, it's going to tell you it's upside down, and you just flip it over.
So we'll tell you to reorient yourself. So, but if you held a barcode or money notes or things like that upside down, it's still going to tell you what it is. You don't have to reorient. It's only text.
What about pictures? What does it do with pictures?
It does not save them. It dumps them out. So pictures of text, it doesn't save. The only thing it saves is facial recognition. And if it doesn't know a barcode, you could teach it a barcode. Those are the things it saves. But it's not facial recognition like we're thinking. So it's not really getting the person's face and putting it out, because it's not connected to anything either. So that's the privacy aspect of it. But it's measuring like how far is the eyes from the nose to the mouth, the bottom of the mouth to the chin, and like the facial features as far as size and shapes, not really like a picture.
No, but in a newspaper, when there is a photo in it or a magazine or what, is it saying picture or nothing at all?
Nothing. It disregards it.
Okay.
This other question in the chat: is the command verbal? Is the verbal command interactive or like Siri? I'm not quite sure what that means.
I think is it speaking back to you, like communicating with you? Not at this moment. Now it's just you're giving it a command and getting what you want out of it.
Oh, so, okay, that makes sense, but it doesn't.
Right.
Speak back to you. Okay. So yeah, speaking of the storing the facial recognition devices, so Ashley, how often do you have people pose for the device to get it to actually recognize their name?
So I have all my close friends and family in it, a pretty good handful of it. I use it when my kids are trying to get by with something sneaky and I need to know which one is who. And I'll be
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
oh, and then I'll be like Bentley. And the other cool thing is you can put it in your voice or their voice. So when I programmed in mine for my kids, every time it goes on to Bentley or to Oliver, I can hear their voice and it just makes me smile. So it's kind of cool.
That's good. But you tend to do it only with people you're fairly close to, so you don't just go out to people you've met. You don't
No, I
expect
don't
to
go
meet
up to
that often.
strangers and do it.
Right.
I go in my close circle.
Right. Yeah, I know,
Right.
especially, yeah.
Right. So when you're recognizing someone, you do have to have someone stand about 3 to 4 feet in front of you alone. If there's too many people in there, it'll say too many people for learning. If there's not enough light, it'll tell you. That part of it, it's very intuitive. If you're not doing it properly, it'll tell you. And then it's really 20 seconds to put someone in the system.
Yeah. I think there are a few teachers who've actually had their entire class of students do it. But it's and obviously that's pretty time consuming, but it is definitely possible.
No, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Absolutely possible. I was just on Dr. Oz with Dr. Brian, and we programmed in his face with it, and it was very simple, very quick.
That's great. Was that before you went on the air, or did you actually do the whole programming on the air? I didn't get to watch the clip yet.
No. Before we went on the air, we did it.
Okay, that makes sense. Great.
Yeah.
And Dr. Brian, how does somebody get trained on how to use this?
Sure, great question. So that could either be depending on where it's through, whether it's through your Department of Rehabilitation, or if you're going through a counselor, or if you are getting it through a distributor. So there should be training that's involved. Usually it's a good anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour training to learn all the different functions. And then it's about you using the device and getting comfortable with it. And that takes a couple of days of just, using it for a couple hours each day. And then usually by a week, it's, you're using it pretty consistently. You get used to it. So that's what I would say. It's a little bit of work that you got to put in, but not much. And then once you get used to it, it's easy to use. It's more of learning the different, what it can do, the different features.
But a lot of the trainings in many cases these days would be remote.
So remote training or in-house training. Some people are doing in-house, but also there's always, you can go back to, we do have some descriptive videos online on our website. So you can go there as well. And it has a lot of videos there. Or what a lot of other people do is they just contact me here, and we do like kind of a little bit of a one-on-one, or with some of our team here in the U.S.
We assume it comes also with a manual?
Yes, there is a manual, and there's even an online manual as well.
Right. So what if someone has an OrCam and they are pretty good at it for a few months, but they they could even get more advanced at it and just haven't addressed some of the features that they haven't used as much? Could they go to the distributor or just to the general OrCam company?
Yeah, I would say either one.
Or to you?
Yeah, either one. I'd probably recommend some of these training videos, which could be helpful to current users, and that's right on our website on the user site.
And there's also a Facebook group. So if you happen to get an
I'm in that.
And you have questions, you can go on the Facebook group. I don't remember what it's called, like OrCam.
Facebook, OrCam user space.
But it's
That's right.
very helpful. A lot of people go on there and ask questions, and we all just kind of help each other out.
Yeah, I am in the group, so I should check in there more often. So there's a question in the chat. What's that?
Oh, I see Bonnie has her hand up also.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, so the question in the chat first. So everything can be used without Wi-Fi except for the verbal command and then downloading updates, right?
No, verbal commands you can do
that doesn't need Wi-Fi?
without Wi-Fi.
Okay. Great.
Correct. It's without Wi-Fi.
Okay, and Bonnie, you have a question? You are muted, so Control-Shift-M. Nope, she's trying to unmute herself.
I guess before we get to that, Ashley, what's the longest book that you've ever read using the OrCam?
Oh man, the teacher log for remote learning my kids
I'm
for 17
confusing
months.
you.
How long
It was
was
a
that?
very thick teacher guide.
Like hundreds of pages?
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds. Yes.
Oh man. So that like different subjects that you need to help your kids
Yes.
with, like math,
So-
history, English.
Yeah. On one page, like at the table of contents or whatever, it would say like science, math, or social studies. And I would hit this and it would say it, and I would just be like, start from science. And I would
Oh,
just
nice.
pick up in the science area, and then we're on the next lesson.
That's great. Okay, go ahead, Bonnie.
Ashley, did you say that you read to your children or you read with your children?
So the OrCam, technically, when I'm reading to my kids, the OrCam says it, but then I always go back in and try and say the story in my voice, because sometimes I notice with my kids, we just had a parent-teacher conference meeting, and my kids were reading at the same rate as my OrCam. So I have been trying to say the same stuff after my OrCam says it, so my kids are actually just reading normal and not super fast.
So is that is that with headphones? So like you're listening to your headphones and then.
No, I keep it out, and my kids still hear that too.
Oh, so they're
But
hearing
that's a good
both.
idea.
Okay.
I might try that.
Yeah. Do you know Braille at all?
No, I use puffy paint. That's how I use
Okay.
mine. I couldn't learn Braille. I tried super hard. I know y'all
Okay.
are probably like, what is this lady thinking? But I just use puffy paint, and I do it kind of like this, and then I fill, and I can just fill the letters.
No, that's interesting. That's yeah. I mean, so I've been being totally blind. I learned Braille when I was 5, so that's my thing. You know, that's how I plan to do most of my reading aloud. But that's great to know that it can be done with the OrCam, in that way.
Okay, we have a question from Chris.
Yes. Do they ever go on sale?
So they do have specials from time to time. I know when they do their television appearances and things like that, and when Ashley was on Dr. Oz, they had something. So they do specials.
off coupon.
Or you could visit Ashley. Yeah, you should visit Ashley at. You could say what's your site?
Blind_mama boys. If you go to my page, you will get a OrCam discount for both devices.
Oh, very good.
Oh, okay.
Blind_, what?
Blind_mom of boys. Maybe Brian can type that.
I'll write it also. I'm writing it also.
And on my social media, I show a lot of how I use the OrCam. I meet a lot of different people out there that don't even know about the OrCam, so I do a lot of videos of just showing how to use it, just the everyday life.
Great, thank you, Ashley. We have another question from Jim.
Yeah, I didn't catch the price on my eyes. If you did
Sure.
say.
No, I didn't say it. So it's $42.50 is the MyEye, and $19.90 for the Read.
Okay, and I had a question also. Do you find instances where people find it off-putting, or they're anxious about you pointing a camera at them, or wearing a camera, like their privacy and such?
I deal with that a lot. I've had quite a few people when I go to my kids' schools, like some of the adults there would be like, why do you have this camera on there? Is it taking videos of us? What's going on? So then I just explain it, and then they're okay with it.
Right. And people do feel pretty similarly about the cane too. It's like a lot of that is, we each have certain like sets of adaptations and we just have to, be understanding of why people might feel that way, but also explain it to them.
Yes.
And I also want to mention that's a big differentiation from the things on the phone also, because a lot of people don't want to be taking a picture from somebody's phone. They don't realize they're using it as differentiator. But also I wanted to mention, because we were talking about price, I wanted to mention that, Skylar, you got it through the Department of Rehabilitation, right?
That's right, yes.
DOR. So if you, so people can get it discussed with their, with DOR if they have an open case. Also, if anyone is a veteran, they can go to their local VA and discuss about how to qualify to get an OrCam device if you are a veteran.
Skylar,
Yeah.
did you get it as a professional or as a homemaker?
Professional. Yeah, I was searching for employment at the time. It was before I was working at Braille Institute.
Yeah,
And
makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
the
think the
homemaker
homemaker. I think that.
category doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. That was for California, by the way. It's every state is different. And yeah, there might even be some other, places that might have grants for it, but it's definitely worth checking into that. Like maybe for some people who do have jobs already, it might be that their employers would cover it, but it really depends.
You could try the Lions Club too.
Yeah, that's what Tracy had mentioned. That I haven't really done much with them personally, but definitely worth
Go ahead.
getting
There's more
involved in.
questions. I see another hand. Is Bonnie?
Jim, Chris, or Bonnie, did you folks still have questions? Your hand's still raised.
Yeah, they all went, I think. I think we probably just have time for one more question.
Or actually, maybe Ashley, you wanted to give anything, last comments or?
Yes. I just want to express to whoever is listening on here that before the OrCam, I was really down and out and just discouraged with life after I got sick and lost my vision. And OrCam isn't a fixer for everything. So don't think it's a fixer. It's going to fix everything. But since I've had this, I have gained so much independence. I have felt more confident. I have been feeling more like a mom to my kids and like a normal human being in the world. And I realize that I'm gaining this confidence from the OrCam because I can actually do things without having to ask people around me. So it's given me more independence than I ever thought, and I totally recommend this.
Thanks, Ashley, and thanks,
Yeah,
Skylar,
thank
for
you,
having
Ashley.
us and talking about this technology. I've seen
you,
it
Brian.
grown for the past 8 years. When I first saw it, I said, this is something I want to be part of. And also meeting everybody like you, Ashley, Skylar, and thank all of you for also coming today and being part of this. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
really
you for your
appreciate it.
presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Brian and Ashley. It's definitely look forward to staying in touch with all of you. And for those of you who are newer to Braille Institute, who've been at this workshop, we hope that you'll stay in touch with us as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Anyone wants to be in touch?
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ashley. Thank you, Dr. Brian,
Thank you.
Skylar, and all the
Thank you, Tracy.
participants. Please call 1-800-BRAILLE for more questions, or if you want to be more part of Braille's workshops and classes.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I was wondering, Doctor, are
Yeah,
you still there?
well, I'm still here. Are we still on,
Are
Skylar?
there
Yes.
ways- Are there different ways to change the voice on this
So,
OrCam?
yeah, there's a male voice and a female voice. And the male voice, some people have trouble hearing like the male voice better because it's a lower tone. So they feel that you hear it better. It pronunciates a little bit more. It has a mild, it has a more of an English accent, more of it from the UK. So, so people find it enunciates a little better.
Okay. Well, I'm looking into this. Thank you very much.
Sure,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, I think that was that worked out well. It was good flow to the conversation.
Hi, Ashley. I'm still on, Ashley. Ashley's calling me now.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I'll call you right back.
Okay, I guess I can drop off now, but okay, thank you, Brian.
All right. Thank you, Skylar. This pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.